I think there's a misconception that diamonds don't appreciate. Diamonds do appreciate. Just like any other investments, if you keep for long term, diamonds have appreciated. I have my own example. I bought one nice earring for my wife way back in 2012, and it costed me close to 36,000. And I checked it off late recently. It was close to 1.25 lakhs. That's a 4x in good 10 years. What else you want? We are preparing for our next set of collections, which is set to come maybe next year. So it's almost 6 months advance you have to plan, especially in Tanishq when we have close to 6 collections in a year. We want to bring newness into the store. So it's a constant cycle.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the RapLoupe by RapNet. The Indian wedding season is here, and it continues to be the biggest driver for the jewelry industry. Today, we are talking about what's happening, what's shaping the demand, what buyers are choosing, and how the trade can prepare better. I'm excited to welcome our guest, Mr. Munish Chawla, Head of Retail Operations at Tanishq, and Ms. Vidhyaa Majumdar, owner of VIMA Strategic Business Consultancy. Thank you both for joining us. Welcome to RapLoupe, and very happy to have you both in this informative session. I'll start with Munish. Tell me a little bit about your journey to this jewelry industry.
Oh, it's quite interesting, I should say. Apparently, I joined Titan in 2005, and honestly speaking, when I walked into the office of Titan and I was told that I'm selected for Tanishq, I was like looking left, right, what is Tanishq? So brand was also not that known that point of time. But it has been an interesting journey, and there's no looking back after that. Since 2005 to 2025, last 20 years of Titan, and this brand was, to sum up with you, it had close to 11 business managers running across the country, and today we have 13 regional business managers. So from 50 stores to 508 stores today, from a 550 crore business to last year closing of 48,000 crore. We are a listed company. So the journey has been very rewarding, and it's like a more of a home for me. And still we are going great guns as we speak. So quite interesting journey so far.
Excellent. To you, Vidhya, you have been in the industry for many, many years, which I know from very closely, holding different positions in different places. Tell me about your journey about also.
My childhood love, gemstones. Started off with my dad showing me my first oyster, having a pearl inside, and I didn't know I had to open up the oyster, the can, which I had got from Japan, and it died. And I think that was a heartbreaking experience for me, but that was also the time when I started understanding gemstones. So you can say bachpan ka pyar, okay, gemstones. And then of course, the journey has been quite good, from manufacturing to learning diamonds, being on the road, and resizing a ring. That has been one of my most unique experiences that I've ever seen, is because that has actually helped me, understand customers better, because I know with Tanishq I have a long-standing, association with Tanishq, and when customers ask you so many questions, it's fun. It's actually fun to answer because you've been through that. You've experienced that. You've experienced a lot of these things yourself, and that's where I started my journey, and I'm never going to end my journey. So I hope that, something or the other is always a learning process for me.
Yeah, it's very close to heart from childhood. Let me ask you, why does the Indian wedding season push so much strong demand for gold or gems and diamonds jewelry?
Okay, so I think it's in our heritage. Even if you look at the mythology, Mahabharata times, Ramayana times, and even today, the jewelry is very close to the Indian roots, even the historical books you read. And second aspect of jewelry, especially when you spoke about wedding, Uh, when the daughter is born, the day she is born, the father takes that responsibility to ensure that he builds a wealth for the daughter, because in Indian customs, when a girl goes out of the house, she has to carry the wealth, and some sort of wealth, some sort of istri dhan, what we call, is given in form of jewelry. This is her take, because in earlier past times, the wealth in terms of land and other assets were shared by the sons, but the women used to get a lot of jewelry, and that was a istri dhan which was shared. And that custom still continues for thousands of years, and it will still continue. And other thing is that when women owns a jewelry, it's her adornment, also adornment and part of her own collectibles. So you will find rarely jewelry sold out unless some other occasions are there. So jewelry continues through generation. So my wife happily wears a long hair necklace which is gifted by my mother. And when I ask her what's the plan for this necklace, which is long hair, which is like till here, she says, I will happily give it to my daughter-in-law. So that's how the jewelry passes through generation, is part of the culture, which is very, very deep rooted, I would say.
Absolutely, because I also know that some of jewelry which I had it from my wedding is still kept it there. It's like a traditional palaka, chain and everything. So jewelry is always close to heart of any woman.
It comes out on a special occasions. You have some special family functions, weddings. You see the women adorning the jewelry and showcasing those unique pieces, and it might be very, very old, but very close to the heart. The emotional value of jewelry is huge, irreplaceable, I
Yeah,
would
it's
say.
much more of an emotion actually.
Absolutely.
Vidhya, do you see any changes in the buying habits of the people in 2025? Because ever since now, the gold prices are also gone up. What is your
Absolutely.
opinion?
Absolutely.
There is actually, what I've been understanding and reading and looking at people also is that, you know, uh, today the mother will want something else, the daughter will want something else. And I think with passing time, trends are changing more towards gemstones. You have emeralds, you have rubies, of course, you have pearls. And Polki jewelry is always going to be a masterpiece for uh, weddings. But other than that, a lot of the people whom I know and I'm speaking to also, they are looking at, not just buying bridal. They want it to be effective even after the marriage. So if you're buying just a single hair, okay, that's for your main marriage, but you're going to buy some other jewelry pieces as well, which you can use for maybe your everyday purposes, you can use for something else. So there is a change in the buying pattern that people are seeing, and people are becoming much more aware of what trends are today.
Absolutely.
Today, if you go back to what historical trends were there, history always plays a very important part in design culture. And you see that design culture, coming into effect with the designs of lehengas. Men used to wear jewelry earlier. In between, men stopped wearing jewelry during the wedding.
It's coming back.
But it's coming back.
It's coming back.
It's coming back. So history will always repeat itself, and what they're estimating is that, okay, let's say around 47 lakh weddings are expected to happen in 2025 in a span of 45 days. So you can imagine the amount of jewelry shopping the brides and the grooms must be doing, because today everything is influenced. Okay, you're either influenced by social media, you're either influenced by influencers, you're either influenced by movies, or then you're influenced by your parents. Okay, so everybody today is looking out for something new. That's the change that's happening.
Just to add to it, when I got married, I didn't know about jewelry, anything. So my mother decided what she's gonna buy for either me or for my wife. Today, the things have changed. Both groom as well as bride, they want to get fully involved into purchase. Starts from first purchase of a wedding ring, which is engagement ring, followed by the whole trousseau. And today, even uh, both groom and bride doesn't hesitate to spend time on matching the whole trousseau, because my wedding attire has to match with the jewelry I'm gonna wear. Also, interestingly, today I'm telling you, many of our customers, they prefer to design jewelry for their wedding, because the quotient to be unique on that day is so high. They don't want to look as is. I want my jewelry to look like my lehenga. It has to close match to my lehenga. So we have a facility called bespoke designers in our store, selective stores, large format stores, where the designers involved in terms of designing that jewelry piece for the bride, for her occasion, that's wedding. Not only that, jewelry is decided for the allied functions also. For example, there's nothing called only wedding. There's something called reception, there's something called roka ceremony. For every function, there's a different kind of jewelry which is being planned, and they don't hesitate to select all the pieces for the different occasions. For the whole wedding is a full function. There's no way that only one day, one morning, or one evening wedding got over. So there's something called a ceremony of engagement, then there's a wedding, and then there's a reception. So there's three allied functions, and jewelry is what
That
for
is
them.
actually great, because that means the consumer can come into the Tanishq store and ask them to design based on whatever they're.
Absolutely, that's a facility for them. It's a very personalized. Suppose even if you want to get your mother-in-law's or mother's old necklace refurbished and redone in a certain way, we do that also. It's called a heirloom. We do that as well. So that's the beauty of you know customizing yourself or your own brand to the needs of the consumer. That's what we our endeavor is. End of the
That's why
day.
I think the Tanishq become the household name. Every Indian household knows, they want to buy a jewelry, they
Absolutely.
rush to Tanishq showroom.
Absolutely.
And do you see in Tanishq the consumers which is coming? It could be a bride or it could be a self purchase or anything. They talk about more of diamonds, or they are only focusing on the gold, because gold becomes, in India, gold becomes like an investment and the value appreciates all the time. And then perception is that diamonds depreciate. Do you see any changes in that?
So it all depends upon the look and the functions. There's no single. Primarily for the wedding D-Day, Indians as a consumer, as a culture, we prefer gold, but no plain gold. And again, regional preferences come into play. For example, if it is Marwadi wedding in Delhi, it will be more of a kundan polki, open polki, glass kundan. And if you go to deep Bihar side, Patna, it will be more of a yellow gold. So wedding is particularly gold, but for reception, nobody wears gold. Everybody wants to wear diamond. So if it is a color stone, a beautiful sapphire, or a big set for the reception with the gown, they want to go for diamonds. And I think there's a misconception that diamonds don't appreciate. Diamonds do appreciate. Just like any other investments, if you keep for long term, diamonds have appreciated. I have my own example. I bought one nice earring for my wife way back in 2012, and it costed me close to 36,000. And I checked it off late recently, it was close to 1.25 lakhs. That's a 4x in good 10 years. What else you want? So I think diamonds also appreciate just like any other investment, but it has to take the longer period of time. The investment period has to be a little longer. So no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's a misconception. And the diamond is not just, more than everything, it's an emotional connection towards that.
Absolutely.
That is the biggest thing. And Vidhya, what about gemstones? I see that a lot of gemstones are coming back actually.
Yes.
Ever since the celebrity wedding, they're flaunting their
Okay,
emeralds and everything.
let's talk about Mrs. Neeta Ambani. So she's one of the trendsetters, with the emeralds, and especially, currently, there are a lot of fashion, vlogs and a lot of fashion articles in which she's a statement creator. Okay, it's just like, if one person creates a trend, a lot of people want to focus on that trend. Okay, and you can say today a lot of the brides and even the grooms, for that matter, even the mother and father, the full family, they want statement pieces. Just like what Munish was saying, is that they want to create something very different for themselves. They don't want to be, the same. Like maybe her sister would have worn the jewelry. Yes, it's a statement piece, maybe a heritage piece or something that she can wear. But she has her own individual personality, and that is taken across with gemstones. Because if you see diamonds, of course, other than fancy color diamonds, which are very expensive, gemstones helps you create a lot of color,
Yeah.
around the design. Like you can match polkis with gemstones, you can match gemstones with gemstones, you can have uncut gemstones, you can have tumbled gemstones, you can have gemstone beads, you can create it with pearls. So your statement pieces, with diamonds is all glitter, it shines. But when you add a bit of color into it, with gemstones, it gives you a different outlook. Think about it like, the royalty, or royal family members, during the Maharaja's time. Not everybody would just wear diamonds. If you'd see closely, they would wear a lot of gemstones.
Yeah.
And a lot of the luxury houses today in the world have most of their designs not only in diamonds but also with gemstones. And I think that's where using a designer to understand the person sitting in front of you, giving them the opportunity to use colored stones, giving them the opportunity to use diamonds, creates a statement piece. So yes, gemstones is going big time.
Yeah, that's like rightly you said, somebody is setting up the trend and everybody is going that direction. But the gemstones, we have a big heritage for that. It's not just now. It was from our forefathers it came in.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you, how soon the retailers has to stock up their inventory for this wedding season?
Okay, so jewelry has a gestation period. When you speak about gemstones right now, we are preparing for our next set of collections, which is set to come maybe next year. So it's almost 6 months advance you have to plan. For example, this wedding season, whatever inventory in store is hitting right now, I would have to plan at least 3 months advance, because jewelry is a little complex industry. The manufacturing sits with a lot of skillful karigars across the country. Some of this in our own factory, some of this with the job work with the vendors and all. But end of a day, minimum 3 to 4 months or 6 months advance, you have to plan your collections. And especially in Tanishq, when we have close to 6 collections in a year, we want to bring newness into the store. So it's a constant cycle, and I was very amazed when I got to know from my own design team that they have started working on next year Diwali. As we were finishing this Diwali, I was like, is it so early? So yeah, because end of the day, the brief has come. That's the direction we are taking, and kind of making our products ready for the selection. Because once the design is done, then it goes for selection, the prototyping, and then final manufacturing, and it has to hit the stores just before in time.
Is it not too early, because by next year the design can change, the appetite is of the consumers?
No, so you look at the fashion industry, it works almost 18 months advance. You look at the industry, even apparel industry and all, it's across. The color of the, like when you're speaking about color stones, is a in thing for the next year.
Yeah,
it's already decided.
It's like the Pantone color,
and it's not
year.
us. It's any big brand, big fashion house. They will be using that. So similarly, you speak to Zara, you speak to any apparel brand. They will tell you the color of the flavor next year, which collection is gonna come, what styles are gonna be in vogue for next year. It's already under the plan, because if they don't do it, they can't hit the shelves. And sometimes fashion is created, sometimes fashion is delivered, but there is a theme which runs across the fashion industry. So we have to just be mindful of that and prepare well in advance, because let's not forget, we have 508 doors today, which will become 550 doors tomorrow, and we have to supply the inventory to all those 550 doors. It's important to plan much in advance so that we don't have a slip ups, because I don't want a variant to come on the TV with a beautiful necklace but not in the store. That's the last thing you want, right? So we have to be a little mindful of that.
Yeah, it's absolutely better to be ready when the customers walk into the store.
Absolutely.
We don't want to tell them that, oh, we don't have it.
I'd just like
Absolutely.
to add something here also, because when you look at, the designing part, because I had the privilege of actually, meeting up with his design team a few years back, and I understood, that it takes them a lot of time, from the creative understanding, the creative briefing, and then creating the designs. And let's not forget, if you're doing a gemstone collection, getting those gemstones
Absolutely. It's
for
a
multiple
Herculean task.
designs,
Yeah.
that's something, which is, as good as, going and banging your head on the wall. Because if you're looking at a design, from the perspective of a designer, and then trying to get maybe, say, a gradient in rubies in the colors from pink to red, oh, that's going to be a task, or getting
Absolutely.
anything else. I think from Zoya
Absolutely.
perspective, especially, because
Absolutely.
that's why you can say that, a lot of the time that is taken for the procurement of these gemstones, and let's not forget, our end customers also know what Burma rubies are. So, the main questions that come across is this Burma. So it's not Mozambique. So even if you need to get it from a place like Mozambique, it takes time to cut it, source it, and, do all of the different calibrations as per the design, because it's not one single piece you're creating, it's a multiple number of pieces. So when you're doing a design and you're creating multiple pieces of that for different stores, you need to have calibrated pieces. And getting that same calibration, especially in gemstones, and let's not forget with Tanishq, the diamonds. I'm just going to be a little bit out here.
Absolutely.
It's difficult to match the standards that they have for diamonds. Okay, I'm being very honest, because the diamond promises that they keep, okay, is something which, they have it in the stores, of course, but it's like you're taking, the best of the diamonds. So even if they're sourcing maybe, say, 3,000, I'm just giving a very random figure, okay, say 3,000 stones are coming in a day, barely you would have even 200 stones which will pass the criterias of theirs in diamonds.
You see.
Yeah.
So when a person does this, and when a designer does this, that's how it ends up becoming an expensive product also. And that's where consumers need to understand this, and even people need to understand, it's not just about giving a discount or it's a high priced item. It's also the care that is taken to put in your gemstones and your diamonds, which are in par with international standards, into a product that you are going to gift to somebody on their wedding or their engagement, or maybe you want to shine on the Sangeet day, okay? And Sangeet is one of the days where you like to show off your jewelry. And that's where people need to, value and understand that it's not always about high price.
Yes.
It's also about design and a lot of other
Yeah, that's what
things.
my next question I wanted to ask you. So the consumer which is coming into the store, do they look at the price or design or that brand? For example, somebody like middle class family will say, I'll go to Tanishq and I'll buy it. So what matters for the consumer?
I think you answer this first, and then I
Yeah,
will put in my
I think it's
opinion.
consumer dependent, but happily, let me tell you, we serve close to 3 million customers every year, and we have a, even today when I'm speaking to you, there's a good number of 60-70% repeat customers which come to us every year, because they have shown the trust in the product, the quality we give. So there are types of consumers. You rightly said there's a value conscious also, there's a price conscious also, there's a design conscious also, and a quality conscious also. So there are every type of consumer. Tanishq caters to more design and quality conscious customers, and value might not be the a thing which we will give, but surely when you walk into Tanishq, you are assured of the quality. And why I say this is, each piece what we manufacture goes through a very stringent quality check at our manufacturing units. We have manufacturing units in Hosur, Pantnagar, we spoke about it. And each piece goes through 11 stringent quality checks in terms of strength, the quality, the purity, the stone, what we just spoke about. So these things are very, very important for us to ensure. So when a consumer is buying Tanishq, he's assured of the quality, the standards of the quality what we give. That's given. Price, he might find a cheaper option outside. Let me be very honest with you, but honestly speaking, we are very competitive in that also. That's why I'm happily telling you that we serve close to 3 million customers today. So it's that there.
Let's talk about it as, when we do mystery shopping. Okay, because this is something which helps a lot, and Munish would agree that he's been a mystery shopper. I would have been a mystery
Absolutely.
shopper. When we talk about the value of a jewelry piece, a lot of people need to also understand who's the person who's going to ultimately wear it. Because the person who's wearing it is not going to go and resell it. The person who's paying for it is going to, maybe be the person who's going to argue a little bit on the prices. Okay. And that's exactly where, on a retail front, understanding who's a customer and who's a consumer, knowing the difference between the two of them is very important. Okay, because the consumer is the one who's going to wear it for her wedding. She's going to dance with it. Even if it breaks, it doesn't matter, because the customer, who's her father or her mother, is actually paying for the jewelry.
Absolutely.
Or the husband. Let's talk about it this way, that a lot of the people, for that matter, have, when we do the consumer seminars, a lot of the husbands, even after 1 week of marriage, my wife is not happy with the diamond ring I bought. I'm like, why? Because I didn't buy it from her retailer. I'm like, so what is the issue? The diamond has lost its shine. And I'm like, does she use it every day? And he's like, yes. I said, what you need to do is clean your diamond. Take your baby shampoo, take your baby, toothbrush, and just clean it in lukewarm water and see how it shines. She won't shout at you ever again. And believe me, this is something which a lot of people, feel, that diamonds lose its value over a period of time because it loses its shine.
Very important.
But actually that's not the truth. Diamonds are not losing the shine. If you're going to cook, after marriage for your husband with a lot of love, and then use your diamond ring to,
Need your
you
dough.
need your dough, you're going to put the olive oil, you're going to put the other clarified butter and all of those things. So where is that butter going to go? It's going to be off your hands, but it's going to stick to your diamond. And then, of course, the shine of your diamond will become less. So love your diamonds, as much as you love yourself. You go to the spa to become beautiful. Why not give your diamond a spa? Do a diamond spa day for your diamonds. Keep it clean. At least don't go and shout at your husband. Your diamonds are already very old, correct? It's not that, they're coming polished from, when a volcanic eruption comes and diamonds are flowing out in the lava. Okay, others people will say, ki kal Ethiopia mein, the volcano bursted, so diamonds will start flying in the air. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so even after the diamonds are coming from the mines into the market, everything is not used in jewelry. It's a very minimal, small percentage. So when you take a very small percentage of diamonds, polish them, and then you give them that, quality factors, wouldn't that make it more valuable?
Absolutely.
If I give you a diamond which is an industrial quality, would you wear it? Would you wear it as a black diamond? You wouldn't. So that is why when diamonds are so valued, like, I'll give you a very simple example. People say diamonds are very expensive. Yes, they are expensive. But diamonds, don't have a resale value. Yes, but do you know that diamonds can break? Diamonds can break. If I'm going to be very, okay, I'm going to just, oh, I'm so tired. What am I doing? Of course, it's no worry, it's not a diamond, so.
But it can break. The point is
But
that it
the
can
point
break. Yeah.
is that it can break. So when a diamond you're purchasing as a VVS, you're not careful with your diamond. You're not using the box that the retailer is giving. All of those things are not being followed. And then when you go to resell it, okay, of course, after a marriage, unless you're getting divorced, a lot of people will not resell the diamond jewelry, especially the ring. Okay, jewelry, necklace, nobody will resell. But the rings, some people may sell. So then in that case, when a person sitting in front, a diamond expert will say, it's not a VVS, but it's mainly a VS or an SI because it's chipped. What would you say? Oh, I was cheated by the retailer when he sold it to me. No. You were not completely informed that diamonds can break and how you should take care of it so that it does not get damaged. If it's not damaged, of course, you'll get an appreciated value. If it's damaged, you will get the current value. And that is where it's important that people should understand, that valuation with understanding your product, with taking care of your product. It's just like if you buy a car, do you not go and service it? Of course you're going to service your car, correct? If you have a Mercedes, are you going to say that it's too expensive to service it, it's okay? But then one scratch comes and you'll be like no. So it's just like a diamond needs maintenance, it needs its spa day. Very simple.
Yeah, that's what the consumer needs to know about it. Let me ask you, Munish, how does RapNet helping you as a retailer to source better and easiest way to source diamonds?
I think it's a very good source to check, and also I don't know if you know, we are connected to RapNet, and at our stores also,
Yes.
our consumers can view the available stones, and of course every stone what we source goes through a quality check of our own standards. Vidhyaa spoke about the each stone quality check we have. So it's a very good source for us, and it has helped us in terms of serving the needs of our consumer from time to time. And it's I would say wide source, quite a wide source, and that's what is helping us a lot. So it's a good partnership we have together.
Absolutely. I would say it's RapNet is not just for sourcing. There are a lot of things actually RapNet can help. Informations, market intelligence,
Absolutely.
match pairs, situations about the industry and everything goes into RapNet. Hardly people actually understand that RapNet is only for buying, selling.
Correct.
It's much more than that. One last question I wanted to ask you, both of you. This wedding season, you see the younger couple coming into the store, the way they're buying the jewelry, it's changed it's the same. Their approach towards buying the jewelry. I wouldn't say that it's only for wedding season, because a lot of younger generation celebrate for the, like a self-love. I achieved some milestone, so I wanted to buy a jewelry. So you see any changes in that?
The major change is that younger generation today is quite involved. They also understand it is their D-Day. They don't want to rely anything on somebody's external who is doing something. While there are wedding consultants, there are wedding planners and all, but you look at the detailing which goes into a wedding now. They want to make it a special affair for themselves, because shaadi to ek baar hi hoti hai. So that kind of feeling. So from the clothes what I'm gonna wear, what kind of attire it is, what kind of matching jewelry I'm gonna wear, we're gonna source from, what's the look for the whole wedding. It is completely pre-planned, and weddings are getting bigger and better because many youngsters today are well-to-do from the financial point of view, and that enables them to take a better decision also about themselves. It's not that weddings are only dependent on the parents or parent-in-laws and all. Right now they're quite involved there, and even as a parent they're happy to give that liberty to kid, because there was a time when we used to call our kids naive, but kids nowadays are very smart. The youngsters who are coming to a store, they're very smart, they're well informed from the internet, from the program like what we're doing today, from the Rapaport and all those things. They're very well informed, they're very well educated, but still they have the queries. They come to our stores, ask all those queries. Henceforth, the involvement of young couples who are getting married has improved and grown significantly, from the type of jewelry they want to wear, the type of the lookbook they want to create for whole wedding has significantly improved. And it's gonna be further increased going forward. It's not about just a day. It's a very most important day of the life of a getting married couple kind of.
Yeah, I know. Some of the retailers telling me, every other consumer comes to our store, they always talk about, this is the Rapaport price. So they come with a sheet and say that, okay, what's the price? This is the price for that. So consumers have information.
Absolutely.
So there's so much information out there in the Google and everything. I think almost every other consumers know about Rapaport price list. what it is.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up, let's do a quick rapid fire round. Short answers, quickly. Diamonds or gold? What's winning this wedding season?
Diamonds.
Diamonds.
Excellent. Always diamonds. On bridal trend that will dominate in 2025. I mean, it's actually coming to an end. Maybe in 2026.
Kundan polki, glass kundan, all no plain yellow gold. It has to be fashion jewelry.
Gemstones.
I see kundan also, I see gemstone also. Wherever I go, in a lot of gemstones I see with the jewelry.
Absolutely.
People want the colors actually, I believe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love gemstones, by the way.
No boring. No boring.
Yeah, no worry. One thing every retailers must be right in this season.
Know your consumer well.
Absolutely.
Be a consumer to know your consumer.
You need to do a mystery shopping then.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thanks both
Thank
of you.
you so
It's a
much.
very
Pleasure.
insightful or a
Thank
very
you.
fun conversation. Thank you, Vidhyaa.
Thank you
Pleasure
so
is
much.
mine. Thanks
Pleasure.
for inviting. Thanks a lot.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having you both here. To everyone watching or listening, follow the RapLoupe and RapNet on all platforms. We will back soon with the more conversation from the world of diamonds, gems and jewelry and market trends. Thanks for joining us.